Hello guys, good evening. So today let's see about the regular expressions as part of advanced PowerShell modules. And let me share my screen and let's start getting into it right away. Okay, and let me open the PowerShell and let's go to demo scripts. Let me open the notepad that I want to show you. Here we go. All right. So let's get started. So first, what is regular expression? First of all, what is an expression, right? So expression is something, if you remember, when we were dealing with hash table, we were seeing something called expression, which is like N for name and then E for expression. And if you remember that, in that, the expression is something that is going to do some kind of calculation, we said, right? And then we were seeing, for an example, if you remember, the example is all about getting all the drives in my computer, in your computer, and then we are gonna, calculate what is the free space and then the available space and then display it with our own column name. So that is what we did, and then in that we were using this particular one expression. So expression is something kind of a calculation or a pattern. So in regular expression, the expression whatever we are saying, right, that is a kind of pattern what we are gonna I mean that is what the expression means in regular expression. Okay, so in patterns, so what kind of patterns, so why we need the patterns and what is the whole use of regular expressions? Let's say you remember, like we were seeing about the comparison operators, right? Comparison operators, and they are the one, they are gonna say whether something needs to be done true or false. Okay, based on the result we'll be doing some other activities. For an example, if a is dollar a is equals to dollar b, then do something, and else do something else. So that is what the operate, comparison operators are for. And and always, as you always notice, right, the result will be either true or false, and based on that, the actions will be taken. Now, the regular expression will be in the most of the time in real-time examples, we will be using to compare and validate some kind of data within a particular pattern. So what is that? It can be a simple pattern. It can be just starting with whether is it a number? Is it let's say, is it a number? Is it a letter, a word, um, a range of number, within a range of number, let's say, and is there a space in that? Is there a dot in that? So anything. So why do we need this, and why we the regular expressions is important? Let's say some data will be should be in the right format before we go ahead and take it and progress it. Let's say I have a script, and then the script is nearly, it's gonna do lot of things, but based on the inputs what I'm gonna give, and there is something I need to do before. Let's say I'm doing 10,000 code, 10,000 lines of code, and then it's all based on the inputs. So the first thing is it's first thing we are going to do lot of things based on this inputs, and we want to make sure the input whatever we are getting is the right input in the right format or in the whatever the expectation we have. So we wanted to compare and validate that particular data and using a particular pattern and make sure the inputs some whatever the inputs we are receiving, or in this case in we are getting some inputs and doing lot of things, 10,000 lines of code just based on this inputs. This input can be coming from a CSV file, or it can be coming from the read hyphen host, anything. Okay, but basically we wanted to check and validate the input data is actually correct format. So I'm using the format again. Format is something related to the pattern, right? So what kind of pattern or format we are talking about? It can be very simple. Let's say it can be an IP address. It will be in. It can be IP address 192 or 168. 168.1.1. So we all know all the IP address will have three dots and four numbers, and it will not be exceeding 255. And those are all the conditions, right? So that is something. If something is missing, let's say 192.168, okay, dot one, and this is an incomplete format, right? This is not a right IP address format. Similarly, let's say uh, you are doing something related to fully qualified FQDN name, right? Fully qualified domain name. Okay, and in that, let's say you are taking your computer's name, so 001 Microsoft.com. So you want to make sure this is the exact FQDN that you are receiving, and you are not actually using the NetBIOS name. Means not just the name, server name. So we want to make sure what all the things we will be making sure. Let's say if it is a Microsoft.com, I'll make sure it ends with Microsoft.com. Okay. And what is the other thing? It has two dots, and it should have the server name, some kind of server name. Okay, and it should not be like, I mean, we can keep on going, and then kind of we can keep on filter. Okay, but you get the idea, right? So here we are taking IP address, and then here we are taking FQDN, and in some cases it can be let's say a particular MAC address, right? So let's say I open my computer and then ipconfig slash all. Okay, so here let's say here this default gateway. Okay, this is IPv6 now, IPv6, right? So this is the one we can, again, this will not be falling into the 192, that condition. So it will be in a different way, right? So based on that, let's say what else, the physical address. Okay, so this one is something like this, right? So based on whatever the input we required, okay, and we will be validating, and then we will be going ahead and doing it. So not only validating, that is again just one example that we usually use in the real time in the regular expression. Other than that, we can do a lot of things. Basically, this is the whole formula. You have some data, okay, and you have some kind of format or expression or pattern. So you will be just comparing these two and check whether they are matching or not, and based on that you will be doing it. So again, the answer will be either true or false, right? So based on that we can be doing it. Can be like let's say do some operations, all those CORD, anything. Okay, you can create something, delete something, all those things are, let's say you are checking something and replacing, you can almost do anything, just like how we use a hyphen equals, right? And then a hyphen not equals, all those things. Similarly, this is what we will be doing. We take a data and compare with a format or a pattern, and if it is matching, we will be doing something, and if it is not matching, we will be not doing it. And this is, I mean, it's kind of what, how to say, there are a lot of things in regular expressions. Okay, I'll be actually sharing you this particular cheat sheet. Okay, so this will have, okay, again, it's based on the .NET framework regular expression, and as we know, .NET framework is the base of our PowerShell, right? So I'll be sharing this, and then you'll be having all these things. Okay, let's say, I mean, you, as of now, if you just see right away, it'll be confusing, but I'm just saying this, I'll be sharing you this, and you can also, you can find everything here. And it is really not mandatory to use the regular expression unless until you really required some kind of validation. Okay, and most of the times, okay, in 95% of the your regular world, right, real examples, you will not be using any of them. But it's always, again, this mastery is advanced is to make sure we know all the parts of PowerShell, and regular expression is the one everyone used to ignore because it's complicated, and then kind of it'll be a little bit tough to understand. So since it is tough to understand, as usual, let's try to go ahead and make it easier to understand. Let's start with transcript, then regular expression is also called regex. Okay, and now let me save it, and then let's get started. Now let us start with a few things. Okay, here in all these examples, okay, we are going to use hyphen match. Reason is, we know, right, I just mentioned we are going to compare and validate the data. Okay, and then some kind of pattern. So for that, we are going to use hyphen match in all these examples. And this is not the only operation you can do. Okay, so you can also use a hyphen equal or anything. Okay, equals, like, and then contains anything. Okay, this operation can be anything. Match is the right way to use it, because it will be actually comparing, and then there is no restriction, like equals will be I mean, let's say if we are using equals or like, all those things, right? They have a kind of restrictions when we are comparing two things. So there are hyphen match is the right one whenever we are using the regular expression. And again, as I said, we can use equals, like, replace, anything, hyphen replace or anything. Okay, whatever the operator, everything will work, but match is the right one. So in all these examples, we will be seeing. First thing, okay, so let's take this one. What is, I mean, let's start with string. And if you see, string, since it is string, we are gonna take a word called book, and then I'm gonna check whether this is contains or matches with the zero, I mean, oh. So that's pretty straightforward. Let me type book, and then hyphen match, and then oh, and it's true. And let's type okay, that is also true. Okay, that is also true. All those things are possibilities, right? So let us try this one, which is false, right? Because KOO is not in this pattern. I mean, KOO is not there, right? This is straight forward how we compare two strings, right? And don't worry about all these taking notes. I'm taking the transcript, right? I'll be giving you this. The transcript will be more useful in this scenario. So now that is very similar to comparing two strings. And let's get a little bit one by one we are going to introduce. Okay. Now let us say, okay, here book is what we are doing, right? So let's go back to book. Okay. Book is matching to book. Okay. That is the first thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do add a square bracket. Okay. And I delete this O and O. Okay. And in this square bracket, what I'm going to do it A to Z and another A to Z means, first of all, this square bracket is called set. Okay. Square bracket is called set or a collection. Okay. Again, it is nothing like how to say these are all the options I want to check. That is what we are trying to say. Set is a collection of things we wanted to check. So what are the things we are going to check? Let us say first thing is, this is how you need to read. This is all about how you read and then how you are able to understand it. Okay. And if you are able to read, that is more than enough in the regular expression. You will be able to go ahead and then take it from anything already existing in the internet, and then we can go ahead and change it accordingly. The thing is, it will be really hard for everyone to easily to understand. Whoever writes the regular expression, right? They might be having um, they might be having their own logic when they are trying to do their regular expression. So, and they will be trying to do it either in a very simplest way or in the most complicated way, but the result will be the same, right? This also gonna be the same result, and let's try this, and then this also gonna be the same result. But I can make this really nearly lot of things, and then I can make what all the things I can do, like I should make sure there is no number in this. Okay, I can do that. And it's a kind of making it as strict as possible or as correct as possible. The pattern is matched. So coming to the point, what I say is, all you need is to understand how to read it. That is all the thing you required. Okay, that is more than enough. So how we need to read this? As I said, this square bracket is collection. Within that, we'll be actually mentioning anything. So whenever we say 1 to 10, let's say 1 hyphen 10, it means anything between 1 to 10. Whenever we say A to C, anything between A to C in the alphabetical order. And whenever we say A to Z, that is anything between A to Z. Here, what we are doing is, and here there are four characters, right? Four letters, BOOK, and first letter is this, and second letter, what I'm saying is, this is one letter actually. Okay, this I mean, the, that is what it implies. Okay, this one letter will be, can be, okay, not will be, can be between A to Z. And similarly, the next one can also be between A to Z. Now, obviously, the Z, I mean, any character, right? Any character in alphabet, it will be falling into that into that particular condition. So it will work. So now what I'm gonna do is, in spite of this, okay, I'm gonna make A to this one. Let's take this again. First, we are adding what I'll be adding one more little bit complication so that you'll understand. Now, this is just a word. I mean, completely this is a word and this is a one character. And now, whatever this set, right? Within this, right? Whatever we have, right? This is again not a book. Okay, let's again maybe we can. This is BIG. Okay, it has three letters. So first letter we already mentioned it clearly. It is gonna start with the B and then gonna end with the G. But the middle letter can be between A to G or I. This symbol, right? This is or symbol, right? So or this or I or is at J to Z. Now what I'm gonna do is hit enter. It will work. Okay. Now let me remove this I. Okay. Now what will be from A to G? It will be I will be missing after G. Okay, and after J to Z again I will be missing. But what I'm trying to compare here is this particular character. Okay, is it between A to G or Z to I mean J to Z? Okay, so that is that is what we are comparing, and then let's try this. Now it is gonna sorry. Now it's gonna be false because we are intentionally trying to again. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just again trying to give you examples simple one by one so that you can understand. First, we are matching just two things, and then we are just changing k just in KOO so that it will not match, and then that we know it is very similar to the string comparison. And then whenever we put this set, it means one single character. Okay, and then since we put two, this is two single characters, and here this is three letters in one word, and first word is I mean one first letter and the last letter is defined, but the middle letter has all these possibilities. It can be between A to G or I or J to Z, everything, right? And we intentionally remove I, and then it automatically becomes false. So that is what set, and then hyphen. We understand hyphen. We also understand this means or. Okay. Now, now that is a string. So how about a number? So let us try this one. Okay. Number everything. Okay, it will be again whenever we are putting this set, right, that is gonna take one particular letter. Okay, this 55, right, it has two letters, right? One is 5, another 5. So we have two things, and then what is the condition? First number is between 0 to 9 and second number is 0 to 9. I mean all the numbers will be there, just to start with the simple. So that is true. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make it between 4 to 6, and then let it be the second one. That is also true. And then I'm gonna make it 6 to, let's say, 9, and it's gonna be false because this first 5 is not between this range, and that is gonna be failing. Now, uh, this is again. Till now, we are just handling with two characters. Now, first character is 0 to 9. Second character, we are adding the or. So 0 to 4 or 6 to 9. Again, we are intentionally missing 5, and then let's see. It is going to be this one. We can have this 5 including, and then it will be automatically 5. Okay, so don't think why would we do this in a real time. Okay, why would I compare 55 and why would I intentionally leave 5 in spite of not? That is not the point. As I said, the point is how you read, how you are able to read it. Okay, so that's the only thing you need, and that is what we are focusing on it. Okay, all right. Okay, now this again 0 to 9, 0 to 5, that is the just we tried it. And let's try this as well. Okay, so now in spite of only one character in the or, we are taking two characters, both of them putting in the set. In this set we are putting both of them, or we can keep on going with or. Okay, now let's try doing something in spite of number. Okay, let's try A to Z. That's gonna be a false. And now I'm gonna pipe either A to Z or 0 to 9. Okay, and hit enter. Okay, y- you see here, important point. Okay, this and this are exactly the same thing, but here it says false and here it says true. Reason is, what I did is, just to make it easier, I left a space here and then it is making it false, meaning space also counts. Okay, let's say, where did I mention space counted two? Okay, so regular expression is will not work even if we make a small mistake. Okay, so that is why we need to understand how to read it. So now we know all these things. Now these are all the things we covered so far, and then again, for number we tried that, and then we can also mix and match A to Z, and then those kind of thing we just did here, right? So that is also possible. Okay, now should I have only 55 or a big, I mean only the string and then this one? No, we can also have alphanumeric as well, A5. This will also obviously put it in double quotes. And then this is true because this A is in one of the characters. In the first, I'm giving two options. Either it should be 0 to 9 or it should be A to Z. So it's falling in the first condition. That is the way, that is the reason it is coming. So point is, it can be number, it can be string, it can be both, combination of both, right? Let's say here, physical address is a combination of both, right? So similarly, okay. Now we are going to see few things. Okay, first thing is, anything starts with slash. Okay, anything gonna start with slash, it is gonna be a special kind of a character. Okay, so for an example, if you remember, slash n, okay, slash t, those are all the things usually for new line. Okay, this is something in any programming language, this is for new tab. Okay, Uh, similarly, this slash, whenever we are mentioning slash, okay, we are going to see a lot of slashes, but anywhere whenever we are going to mention slash, okay, that means followed by that it can be something like fixed one, fixed or a predefined character. It can be D small letter or uppercase or lowercase. So let's say slash D. I'll first give an example. Okay. Now let's say 5. Okay. Match. I'm just putting slash backslash and then D, and then I'm hitting enter. It is true. This D is nothing but decimal number. It is just a number. Okay, whether this is a number or not, that is what all I'm comparing. And let's say if I put another 5, okay, I'll be putting another slash D and check, that is also okay. So whenever I put a slash D, I don't have to put I mean like this. Okay, that is not required. Okay, but you can still go ahead and put it in a um, character, I mean a set, if you want to use it, but that is not required. But it's also a good practice so that you can clearly see what is exactly you are trying to do. Okay, so always whenever we are putting, this is one character, another character, and what we are checking, we are not checking a range or anything A to Z or zero or number or anything. Okay, we are actually checking whether it is decimal, whether it is a number or not. Okay, now one more thing is whenever we say D or S or any letter here followed by slash, okay, it will be two things. One is small letter, I mean lowercase, another one is uppercase, and they do exactly the quite opposite thing. Now, for an example, slash D, it is going to check is there any number, decimal or not. So, as I said, if small lowercase d is going to check whether it is a number or not, this uppercase will check whether it is a non-number, non-decimal or not. What I mean by that, let us say this is true, right? Again, okay, I'm just gonna make it as D and hit enter. What it is gonna check is it's just checking whether this particular first letter is a non-numeric. Okay, I mean non-numeric is A or B or any. I keep doing that. Okay, let's say X. Okay, X5, and then hit enter. This is true because X is not number, right? That is what it is checking. Now if I put here D, it's gonna be again false. To make it work, XY. So that's how, and that's the again quick but very important lesson. D is first thing is, okay, anything followed by slash, backslash, will be a special character. Okay, and when I say special character, it is going to do some kind of specific check, and whenever it is a smaller case, if it is going to be true or it is going to be check something, if we use the uppercase, it's going to be quite opposite to that. All right, so that will be following in universally everywhere. And then we just try this, and then 5 5, it is number 5 5. Let's quickly try that. This is true, and this is gonna be false because they are non-numeric, and this is gonna be non-numeric, which is gonna be true, and this is one is non-numeric, another one is numeric, which is true. Now, as I said, we already checked the space is also counted. So, and uh, if you see one more thing is, when I say D, okay, you don't have to remember D, okay, just remember decimal, okay, D for decimal, and S for space, okay. So space can be either you can leave a space itself directly, okay. For an example, I leave a space, a space, another space, and hyphen match. Then what I'm gonna do is leave a space and slash D, which is non-numeric, and leave a space and hit enter, and it will be true. Now, in spite of this leaving a space, I can put slash S slash S. Slash S is nothing but how slash D is decimal. Similarly, slash S is space. Okay, and hit enter. That is true. And if I type capital, it's gonna be false because again, if small s is gonna be checking whether it is a space or not, the capital S will make sure there is no space. There should not be a space. If there is a space, it will say false. So it will be quite exactly. Now let us try this. It's gonna be given error. I mean false because there is a space here. We have already seen it. To make it work, that is the one. Let us try this. We just put slashes, which is space and space. This is very similar to leaving a space manually. Okay, so there's no difference, but just to do that. Okay, and all right. The reason why this is working is first, let's try to read again. If you are able to so far read what I'm doing, you're good. Okay, you don't have to write. If you are able to understand, you're doing pretty good. Slash s is a space. Okay, second letter slash s is non-space, which is a is not a space, right? So which is true, and again space, that is why it is true. Okay. Similarly, let us. There are a lot of A, B, W, all those things, but we are seeing only few things that is required for our real world. W is word. Okay, stands for word. Okay, let's say book is matching to word. That's true. Okay. And how do we say is that a word or not? Even though I say 1, 2, 3, 4, it is gonna be still gonna be word. Okay. So what if I'm gonna do this? That is again gonna convert it, and then it is gonna do it. So how, what exactly, when it will fail actually? Anything, any special character. So let's say yes, false. Okay, or those kind of things. Okay, so similarly, this one. This is okay. This is W capital, right? So this is gonna check whether it is a word, and this is gonna check it is, make sure it is not a word, which is true. That is why we are getting true. Okay. So as I said, W is smaller case, and then this is uppercase, and it will do exactly quite opposite thing. Now we have dot. Dot is a wild character only in the regex. What is regex? Regular expression. Okay. So usually in PowerShell, we will be using star for and in anywhere we will be using star as a wild character, but only within whenever we are using dot in the wild character, that will be a wild character only in the regex. Okay. For an example, dot is nothing but anything, star sort of thing. Okay, let's say ABC. Okay, hyphen match, and if I put dot first and first letter, second letter, third letter, and hit enter, that is true. And is that is also true, and this is also true. Means it is very similar to, imagine this is what happening. Okay, but that is not the one. Okay, we are just putting dot because dot is actually the expression from the regular expression. Okay, and here there are four things, and then it doesn't matter if you put one dot or four dot. Okay, and let's get into a little bit okay um okay, let's see this star, right? And here we have a star in regular expression as well, but this star and say, question mark, right? They are they are also called quantifiers, means counting things. Okay, counting whether this they both will count at least zero or more. Okay, what is zero or more? Whatever is previously mentioned here. Okay, let's say I mentioned slash s is a space, right? Or let's say a to z. Okay, and then if I put star, it means it will be checking a to z can be any number of times, either zero or this. And similarly this one, this instead of any number, it will be one or more number. Okay, this is zero, or like they to be honest, they these two, okay, they does exactly the same thing. This will be taking one character. Let's say I'll be showing the example, but this is something you'll be using only when this will be actually replacing one character. Okay, and this will be more than one character. That's the only difference. Okay. we'll be seeing the example, and this again, whatever followed by, let's say we mention here, okay, in spite of this one, if I plus, just plus, it means whatever this, right, before this plus whatever we mention, it can be this one or 0 to 10 or anything, that plus one time, okay, means it can repeat one more time. Okay, this is very similar to these two, or very similar to just copying this and then pasting it, just copying it and pasting it. In spite of that, you remember in unary operation we said, right, let's say I plus plus. So similarly, it's a fancy stuff. You don't have to remember, but just remember, if you put plus, it is going to be just doubling it, whatever previously it is there. And this is again quantifier. It is going to count, or it is going to have a range. Okay, let's say I put, mm, let us say slash s. Okay, slash s is space, right? And then if I put this curly braces, okay, and if I put 1 comma 10, it's gonna say either minimum 1 comma or maximum 10 commas can be there. Okay, that is what the pattern that we are setting using n comma m. Now let us try this one. Okay, again, don't try to remember or anything, just try to see whether you are able to read. What is this? First thing, again, one more thing is single quotes, double quotes, they both are same, right? There will be one or two places that will be changing. I'll mentioning in what place it will be changing. Okay, so what is we are doing? So account name, and then here lot of space, and then uh, that is done, and it is checking account name is some exactly we are typing the same name followed by a space. You see the star I mentioned right here. um okay, where did I mention? Okay, I deleted, I think. Okay, in spite of, let's say slash s star means any number of spaces. Okay, that is what this means. Okay, this star or whatever this plus or anything should be read from here, whatever preceding that, that is what actually it is doing. It is not after star, it is before star. What is that? That is the meaning. So space any number, and word any number, and that is what the condition, and then it is going to be true. And as I say, okay, if I take this off, and if I take this off, and then still it will be doing, because as I said, it's almost does the same thing. Okay, let me replace this with this one, and you will be seeing the same thing. Okay, they will be almost not making no much difference at all. Now let's see another example. Let's hear this one. Okay, what this is saying is, first thing, A to Z. Okay, one more thing, when we are mentioning this case sensitive, how the PowerShell is not case sensitive, but regex is case sensitive. Okay, by default. Okay, now I hit enter. What is it is going to do? It is going to check whether it is A to Z, and this plus, as I said, it is nothing but you are just going to delete it and then call just whatever it is there right before. We are going to make another copy. That is what it all means. And hit enter. They both are same. In spite of typing 2 times, you're just typing plus here. Okay, it is not plus minus. This hyphen is coming because in this DC hyphen, right? This hyphen. Okay, this is not plus minus. That has nothing to do with plus minus. And slash d is just to mention there is only numbers after the hyphen. Okay, so slash d is decimal, slash d is again decimal, and hit enter, and this is what gonna happen. Okay, what if A to Z? Okay, Okay. Uh, so when we add C, it is gonna make it as case sensitive, and then it is checking. Okay. And in few cases, I'll mention where exactly it will be applying the case sensitive. Okay. And to change it, all you need is just remove or add hyphen C. Similarly, how we add case sensitive equals C EQ C, all those C EQ is something we will be using, right? So that is the same thing. C is for case sensitive. And let's take this one. So what is this? It is going to match. And then again, I'm not mentioning 0 to 9. Okay, it is 0 to 1, three characters, which is true. And in spite of three times I'm mentioning, right? 0 to 1, 0 to 1, 0 to 1. In spite of that, I mentioned only one time. Okay. Here I can mention how many times I want this to be repeated. Okay. If I put one, okay, it will, let's say, okay, let's, okay. So if it is one, okay, means it the first character. Okay, it is gonna check only the first character, and then is that a 0 to 1? That is true. And three characters so you want to check, and then with the same kind of condition, you will be mentioning this is the NM. This is what we are actually seeing, right? This NM. M is optional. N is mandatory. Means when I say dollar, I mean bracket 3 and then again bracket. Okay, that means that the here, right? Similar, this the it should be n. This is n. And if I and let's say 1 comma 3, that will also work. If I add 1 comma 4, it will be that is also work. Okay, so okay, that is all about. I just want to show one comma. I mean, whenever we are adding comma in, that is m. Okay, that's the maximum number, and this is the minimum number. Okay, and let's say 1 comma 2, or this 1 comma 4 will be the only one fails. Okay, because we don't have more than 4 characters. Okay, I mean more than 3 characters, but we are actually checking 4 characters, which is false. Okay, and similarly, okay, let's take this example here. 111 222 333 hyphen here. Hyphen is already there. Slash D is decimal and 3 is 3 digits. Okay, 3 times, repeats 3 times. Okay, and again, slash D 3 times, slash D 4 times. Okay, that is what it is going to check, and it is going to be fine. Let us say if we put 5 here, it will be false. So that's the thing it is exactly doing. And how do we approach for our real time? Okay, this is all fine, cool, and if you all you need is this one, I'll be sharing this. So how exactly you will be approaching? Should we remember all these, or how should we do it? This is what I usually approach. Okay, this is my method how I usually approach it. So I'll first check what is the data to be validated or to be compared. For an example, let's say IP address. Okay, so what are the things, the conditions I wanted to check? First thing, what I will be first checking this data, and I know the length. Okay, what is the it can be any what what are the data, okay, the conditions possibly this value can have. Okay, uh, what are all the conditions when I say what is the pattern and what is the range, what is the length, all those things, whether it is numeric, alphanumeric, whether it has a symbol or a dot or anything. So first thing is, yes, IP address definitely will have three dots. So I mentioned three dots, and then it will be not exceeding 255. So it will be between 0 to 255, all these four numbers. And finally, the length. When I say length, this number, D1, D2, D3, right? Let's say data 1, data 2, data 3, that is four digit numbers. And okay, I just put it for just to mention D. It can, and you can say anything, okay, for your understanding. So these are all the conditions, and then I will start with that condition. So first, what I do, I need dot dot dot, three dots, okay. And if I put dot directly, what does the dot directly means is wild character, correct? Dot in regex is wild character. So how do I actually escape that? That is the I mean, this slash, right, is also called escape character, okay. Means dot is basically is like a wild character, and if I add this in front of it, it will take it as a dot, okay. Now slash dot slash dot slash dot, I put three slash. Now this is what I'm going to add. First, I know first thing will be 0 to 255, okay, and then followed by these three things, right? I'm gonna mention these three things here, okay, because it's gonna be repeating three times the number it is gonna repeat. What is the three numbers? There will be three digits, one, two, three digits, okay, and it can be between 0 to 9, and then it can be any number, okay. It can be whether present, I mean, when we put a question mark, it is whether it can be existing or not existing, okay. So whenever we read this, you should not read after question mark what is there. It is before question mark what is there. What does that means? This 0 to 9 is optional, and here 0 to 9 is optional, but last 0 to 9 is not optional. Now all these three things with this slash dot is going to repeat, okay. And how many times it is going to repeat? Three times, and first number will be between 0 to 155. Now let us put this. That is the one I create, I mean, we just with our creating, okay. Let's say IP pattern, and then let's say this one. Let's say an IP address is 192.168.1.1. Okay, now IP hyphen match IP pattern, and that is what all it ends with. So again, if you are not, and if you think I listened so far, and I am not able, I couldn't just go ahead and do this, okay, don't worry, even I would not be able to do it, okay. I would be going ahead and then doing trial and error basis till now, okay. So because again it is case sensitive, so there spaces there, and a lot of characters are there, all these characters, okay. This whatever we seen, right, that is only very less things, okay. So but there are a lot of things. Just because it is there, we don't have to use it. And the whole point, as I said, if you understand these things, what all the things, major things, I'll just quickly recap. What is a regular expression? It is a pattern. And why do we need to check the number, word, character, range, space, a dot, anything? Why in what scenario we will be using? Most of the time when we are taking some input, or when we are taking some data, we want to check whether it is the right format, and then we will go ahead and do it. So that it's a kind of if you are doing that, you are actually stopping your script to go ahead and malfunction, right? So in spite of you waste the time, you are just doing a quick check on the format and making sure everything is right, and then go ahead. So it's a kind of error handling technology. um, technique. And then we seen what all the things you need to remember. As I said, mm, data and format, that is what we are gonna check, and it can be as usual true or false. Okay. And we started with string, and it can be double quotes or single quotes. Hyphen match is the most effective way to compare whenever we are using regular expression, but that is not restricted. You can go with like, equals, c equals anything, but match is the one. No, now this is set or collection. Hyphen is the range. It can be 1 to 0 numerical, or anywhere n to a to c, a to z, z, anything. Okay, and this is or symbol. Okay, this is not a pipe symbol here. Okay, if you see pipe symbol, dot symbol, all the things are changed here. Okay, because regular expression is kind of it has its own definitions. Okay, now we did the same thing for number, and then whenever we're talking about number, we use d for decimal, and slash. Whenever we put a slash, it as an escape character, means followed by that some kind of special character is gonna come. And mostly it can be this like a D for decimal, S for space, W for word, those kind of things. And if it is a smaller case or a lower case, whatever it does, exactly the opposite will be done by the uppercase in all the scenarios. Okay, and we've seen all the examples. And then slash s, again, space is slash s. You don't have to use space if you don't I mean, either you can use space or you can directly use a slash s, anything is fine. W is word. Even 1 2 3 4 5 is a word. It will convert it as a word. Okay. Only the just to check whether there is any, they are all full of symbols. That is where it will go wrong. And again, capital W will check and then give the exactly right opposite result. Okay. And then what else we did? Star, instead of star, dot is the wild character here. And quantifiers, the reading pattern is very important. Quantifier, if you see star, you should not read after star what is there. If you see question mark, not after that, whatever before that, that is the matters. Okay, so it, star means it just gonna be any number, and this means it's gonna be one character. And plus means it's gonna add one more, just one more time. Okay, whatever it is, just duplicate it, and gonna be one more time. N comma, I mean, NM is just a range from this to this, and mostly and this as well. Okay, M is an optional one. And regex is case sensitive. Okay, and to make it very, I mean, clearly case sensitive, you will be adding C as well. Okay, that will make sure it is 100% case sensitive. And again, slash is escape character. And approach, how do we approach, what is the data from that, what is the conditions, and slowly build with that step by step. So that is all about regular expression, guys. And then I know there will be a lot of things about regular expression, and again I'm saying, don't worry, as long as whatever I just given, if you are able to read, that is more than enough for mastery. And no need to start writing right away. Okay, if you are not able to write it, if you are not able to figure it out, no, don't worry. Okay, if you are just able to read it, that is more than enough. And if you are able to understand the basic things whatever I just said, right, that is more than enough. You already know more than everyone else knows. Okay, so being said that, thanks all, thanks for your time, and then have a wonderful evening. I'll be sending all these details, and then you can practice and let me know if you have any question. Thanks, guys. Bye. Take care.